we're out demoing the Switchblade today. Mike, what's a Switchblade? What is that thing?
Switchblade is, I guess the best way to describe it would be kind of the burliest trail bike you would need. I mean, you could ride an enduro bike if you want, but if you got like the more rock movie, sort of slow speed wheelie drop, kind of get up and over, I think that's a better bet than a full-on enduro bike. It feels like an enduro bike. It's fully capable like that. It's a little less travel, super short rear end, but you can kind of get it. You can kind of get it into some situations where a big long enduro bike isn't the best tool for the job.
And what are the specs on that thing? It's like 150 in the front,
yeah, 135 in the back. It says 135, especially with Pivot. It always feels like it has more travel than it does. I certainly haven't bottomed that bike out, and I took it out as sort of a let's see if a cross country nerd can be made into a little bit more of a trail guy, and we took some pretty aggressive lines and didn't do some pretty good stuff. I fell off a little bit of a cliff into I think poison ivy. That's fine though. There were yellow jackets, but I think that thing can handle that style riding. Really, there's nothing else like it. It's a unique bike. If you were to ride like a Linwood style, slow, weird, super bursts of speed, but not like you're not flowing through stuff. You're chopping, you're hacksawing your way. It's a machete, not really as much of a flowy style bike. It's more of like that hack and slash through big rock moves and scary little drops.
And surprisingly good at slow speed, at slow up down East Coast tech. Like pedals super well.
Yeah.
And it does. I mean, it has a lot going on the front, so it plows through stuff.
Yeah.
Incredibly well.
Yeah.
When you need to.
It's a bruiser. I mean, it's absolutely a bruiser. I mean, that thing. I can't imagine a situation in regular riding, like not going to the bike park and hitting a 30-foot gap jump or something, where you would get in over that bike's head. Like, there's nothing that we did, nothing that I've done on my own on that bike where I've been like, oh no, it's this thing, I shouldn't do it. It's more like, I wonder if I can hit. Yeah, I guess I can. Oh, that's cool. Like, I just completely smashed through this rock section that would have ripped the wheels off of my cross-country bike. It's a super capable machine. And it also, the pedaling on it, it's not a light bike as like it by the standards of regular trail bikes, but it pedals incredibly well. It really does. Like, if you can continue pedaling, it will get through whatever you throw in front of it.
Yeah, you don't need to pick lines going up. I noticed that one of the first times I came out here to Blue Hill was just riding up chunky stuff.
Yeah.
Where on a lighter bike you might pick lines and go around stuff. Yeah. You can actually save energy by just pedaling straight through, and it feels super efficient.
Yeah, the Switchblade basically just dares rocks to get out of its way.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. You just point it, and the bike's like, you really want this? And the rocks are like, no, not really. And they just move.
The first time I rode it, I was not used to having that much bike, so I came out here and I gravitated towards the gnarliest stuff I could possibly do. And but it was funny when this time we went out and demoed these things. I've been riding more bike and more of an enduro-y bike in the Rocky Mountain altitude, so it was actually less bike and felt like a proper trail bike.
Yeah.
Where my altitude is not necessarily a proper trail bike.
Yeah.
And the Switchblade is for the NAR, for like the East Coast tech stuff. It's an awesome trail bike.
Yeah.
That you can also go to the park on, but there are other options if you're more of a park rat.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if your like primary use is park, then yeah, an enduro bike, that's an awesome option, right? But if you're going to be doing just that Harold Parker style, Linwood style Vietnam with weird drops and transitions that don't make sense, or no transitions, whatever. I mean, I'm coming off a cross country bike, as me riding in my underpants would probably lead you to believe. We're out there on big bikes and I'm in tiny shorts, but it's such a different world. I mean, I'm coming off the Element set up as a full cross-country race bike at like 22.5 pounds. Going to the Switchblade is just like, what do I do with all this bike? And the answer is point it at whatever you want and just let it do its thing, because it will succeed. That bike it'll keep going as long as you can keep pedaling, as we found out when I fell off the cliff and stopped pedaling. Well, stopped pedaling, then fell off.
I think of it as like it's the equalizer. Like if all your friends have trail 429s or the 130, 120 sort of trail bike, the lighter trail bike, and you struggle to keep up with them technically, but maybe you're the strong roadie guy or whatever, you got on a Switchblade, and you could just plow through stuff and keep up with them.
Oh God, yeah.
Totally equalize the playing field.
It levels stuff out, and it asks. The fun thing about that bike is it asks you to do stuff that ordinarily you'd be like, I got to go around that. The Switchblade's like, why don't we try through? Have you gone through? No, you haven't. Let's try through. And it's such a cool option. Like, it just opens up the trail in a way that you have a whole new map to play with, where ordinarily you're picking lines and going around, going through, and like trying to maintain speed, where the Switchblade's just like, hey, keep pedaling, you'll get through it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what we throw in front of you. Doesn't matter, how sketchy, how weird, how off. As long as your tires are, inflated properly and not bald, you'll stick to just basically anything. It's amazing. It's such a good pedaling bike, and the short rear end really gives you that confidence. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just coming up to the stuff on your trails where there are just piles of rocks, like just lineless piles of rocks, and you're just like, go that way, and I'm like, what way? There's not a way. That's a rock pile. But like that short stays, you just ratchet it, and the front wheel goes right up over. It's amazing how confidence inspiring that is. Where on a cross country bike, you're like, oh, I don't know, and you just walk it or get bogged down and probably break a wheel.
All right, but it also comes in plus mode.
Yep.
You can do plus up to
Can do
3-inch tires on it, right?
Up to a three.
Available for demo?
Available for demo. Available for demo at JRA, absolutely.
All right, dude.
Good. Now can I hit the table?